Look at this set, 5 rows and 5 columns. That's how the table is. And here you need to place beads of different color. 3 different colors beads we have: red, green, and blue. And what we have, 2 adjacent beads, same row, same color, is always different in color. At least one green bead between any 2 blue beads. At least one blue and one green between any 2 red beads along the same row of color. Very unique, complete arrangement of joint beads is called configuration. Okay. Look at the first question. Total number of possible configuration using beads of only 2 colors. So first of all, I cannot use a red and blue combination or a red and green combination, because every time red comes, it brings 2 more color. So with blue-green combination, what I can do? Green, 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 and in between all blue. That is one arrangement. And another second arrangement is possible if I replace every green with blue and every blue with green. So basically 2 arrangements possible. Okay. Next problem. What is the maximum possible number of red beads that can appear in any combination? Red maximized. So let's start with the red. If I place a red here, minimum 2 place I need to keep back in. A red here. So at max one more red in this row. If it is a red, this cannot be a red. So next red can come here and one red can come here. Now if this is a red, this cannot be red. Again, one red can come here and one red can come here. One red can come here. Okay, wait. Another issue can be there. Let's with this red, I'm making loose here. This will be green. If this is green, this has to be green because this has to be blue. This can be anything. Let's make it green. Now, as this is blue, here green must come. As this is green, here blue must come. Now the issue is, you cannot place red here. You cannot place red here. So in third row, the rest red must be in the middlemost. Third row cannot have 2 reds. Like Jeff tried, a red one here, one red here. See the problem. How do I fill it up? Shall I place a green here? Is that not possible? How to place? No. The issue is 2 reds must have 1 green, 1 blue between them, which is violated here. So I cannot have red here. 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 The maximum red, only possible red here, and the third row will be here. Second, 1 red here, 1 red here. No issue. 1 red here. No violation. Maximum red is 9. Next one is problem number 3. What is the minimum number of blue bits in any combination? Minimum blue. So actually I should have the reds like this and I need to minimize blue. So I want as many greens as possible. So what would I do? I will use the green here also. Green here also. This has to be blue. This has to be blue. Another blue. I want to minimize, right? Both cannot be green. So this has to be blue. So 2 blues. So total 4 blues. Next row. So this is green. This is green. So next row need to have minimum 2 blues. 1 blue here. 1 blue here. So this will be again green. So maximum 2 greens here. So 1 more blue here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I decrease it further? This is the one with the red maximum. 9 reds. Between these 2 red, 1 blue minimum there. 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 So 4 blues must be there. 1 blue must be after this. 1 blue must be here. Like here. How many greens I use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 9, 87. Minimum number of bits. At least 1 green bit between any 2 blue. At least 1 blue and at least 1 green. But what if I place it like this? First, I'll maximize green. Green, 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 and maximize red. At least 1 red I can give it. So how many greens I have already given? Huge number. 3, 9, 13 greens already given. Red. 1 red can get. This cannot have red. These 2 can get. This can never be red. One of this can get it. This is red. This can never be red. This cannot be red. This can get it. Or this cannot be read. Now this cannot be read. Okay, have my read here. Then none of these two can be read, I suppose. No, this one can be read. This one still can be read. So how many left for blue? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Interesting solution. Minimum can be 6. Next. Two reds are placed in third row, second row, third column. Second row, third column. Red. And third row, second column. Red. How many more rows can we place so that the maximum number of red using this? We need to maximize the number of the reds. Since this one is red, let's make this one red. And this middle one is red. So we can have this one and this one red. As soon as these two are red, we can again have this one and this one red, and this two can one red again. 4, 8 can be had somewhere. Total 8 reds are there, 2 according to the instruction. So at max, more. How many more I can place? 6. I can place 6 more reds.
In an election, several candidates contested for a constituency. In any constituency, the winning candidate was the one who polled the highest number of votes. The first runner-up was the one who polled the second highest number of votes. The second runner-up was the one who polled the third highest number of votes, and so on. There were no ties in terms of number of votes polled by the candidates in any of the constituencies in these elections. So it is first, second, third, like that. In an electoral system, a security deposit is the sum of money that a candidate is required to pay to the election commission before he or she is permitted to contest. A security deposit need to be given. Only the defeated candidates, that is one who is not the winning candidate, who defeated candidate who fail to secure more than 1/6, this is important, more than 1/6 of the valid polls polled in the constituency lose their security deposit. The following table provides some incomplete information about votes polled in 4 constituency A, B, C, D in this election. Let us get this entire table here in our screen, and whatever we have learned, take it out. Now we can see that in our screen, we can find it out that constituency A, B, C, D, number of candidates contesting, it is also mentioned 10, 12, 5 and 8. Total number of votes polled, that is in this case 5 lakh, 3 lakh 25, 6 lakh, this is not known. Number of votes polled by the winning candidate, that is 2,75,000. Number of votes by the second runner-up, 95,000. There is the first runner-up, then second runner-up, and percentage of votes, valid polls polled by the third runner-up. These are the three data it has been given here in this table, partially filled. Let us go with these additional facts. First fact, the first runner-up polled 10,000. First runner-up polled 10,000 more votes than the second runner-up in constituency A. First runner-up polled 10,000 more votes than the second runner-up. So we can find it out, the number also here. 10,000 more votes than the second runner-up in the constituency A. That means it would be 10,000 less, so it should be 85,000. That is the first data. Now next one, point number 2. None of the candidates who contested in constituency C, none of the candidates who contested in constituency C lost their security deposit. No one lost security deposit. What does it mean? All of the people are getting more than 1/6 of the votes, total vote in this case. So that should be, if I know 1/6 of 6,30,000, which should be 1,05,000. So each one, it would be more than 1,05,000. This is our second point. Now, third point. Point number 3. Oh no, some more is there. None of the candidates who contested in the constituency lost their security deposit. The difference in votes polled by any pair of candidates in this constituency was at least 10,000. Difference need to be at least 10,000. That's why the all 5 need to get. This is the information. Okay, let us come to this data also. Third point, the winning candidate in constituency D polled 5% of valid votes more than that of the first runner-up. Achha. All the candidates who lost their security deposits while contesting for this constituency put together polled 35% of the valid vote. That means 35% of the valid vote taken by the contestants, those who have lost it, it would be 35% of the valid vote. These are the information, and we need to fit the data accordingly. Now we can see some data that we can fill it up. Like in case of A, the second runner-up data, so we can fill it up from the first point. Now from the second point, we can see that C, none of the candidates contested lost their security deposit, and there are 5 number of contestants. So all 5, more than 1/6 value, more than these. If I am getting that, in case of C, the 6th one, the 5th candidate have received the minimum, which is 5th candidate, which is, let's say, 1,06,000 vote. Then 4th candidate, it need to be 1,10,006 vote, because 10,000 gap minimum. This is this plus. In this way, if I go on writing first one, by this way, it should be 40 more. So 1,40,006. Second one, 1,30,006. Third one, 1,20,006. So this is the minimum gap. And if I add it up, it is actually coming as 5, 6 lakh 30. So this 6 lakh 30 only by this way it will be possible. So whenever it has given that minimum was at least 10,000, so it is actually 10,000, and the data it is coming. First one 1 lakh 40,000, second one 1 lakh 30,000, 1 lakh 20,000. In this way it is going on. Okay. And there were another point on these, point number 3, that winning candidate in constituency D polled 5% of the valid vote more than the first runner-up. First runner-up 37,500. This is 37,500 plus 5% of D. This is the data. And it has also mentioned that the people, those who have lost their security deposit, put together polled 35% of the valid vote. This person is also losing the contestant, losing the security deposit, and total 8 number of persons are there. So total 8 number of person and 35% of D, it would be divided. That I can find it out. Okay, so let us calculate this one afterwards. Go to the question number 1. What is the percentage of total percentage of votes polled in total by all the candidates who lost their security deposit while contesting for constituency A? Constituency A, those who have lost, how much? Now for getting it, if I want to find it out, 5 lakh and 1/6 of 5 lakh, 1/6 of total, which is actually security deposit bar. So 5 lakh by 6, 1/6 of 5 lakh, it is actually 83,333. So the people, those who have received these or lesser than that. But if I add it up, first 3, 275, 95 and 85. So first 3 of A, if you add it up, it is coming as 2,75,000 plus 95. That means 3,70,000 plus 85. So 4,55,000. 4,55,000. Now I can see that total was 5 lakh. So basically all 7 candidates of A, balance 7, they are receiving 45,000. Now 45,000 means it is less than 83,333. So basically these all 7 lost their security deposit. And what is the percentage of votes polled in total by all the candidates who lost? So it should be nothing but 45,000 divided by 500,000. This is the percentage into 100 if I calculate. So it is coming as 9%. So answer for this question number 1 will be 9%. 9 I need to fit in the non-MCQ type. Now let us get the second question. How many candidates who contested in constituency B lost their security deposit? The contestant, those who have lost their security deposit, how many of them? Now for that, what I need to do, 3,25,000, it is actually the total vote. So 1/6 of 3,25,000, that would be the bar to cross the security deposit. If I calculate this, it is coming approximately 54,166. But the top one is also less than that. That means all of the 12 candidate is less than 1/6. What does it mean? We know that other than the winner, rest others will lose their security deposit. So basically, how many of the candidates lost their security deposit other than winner? Rest others all. Actually, all 12 is less than 1/6. So 11 will be my answer, because other than the winner, there are 11 losers. Those will be, in this case, losing security deposit. Now, third question, what best can be concluded about the number of votes polled by the winning candidate in constituency C? We have already calculated that winning candidate, as per their given information, would be 1,40,006. That means in this case, my answer, it should be option A. Winning candidate in constituency C is getting 1,40,006. Now let us get the question number 4, where it has mentioned that what was the number of valid votes polled in constituency D? Valid vote that I need to find. Let for this calculation, I am considering that valid vote is D here. This is D. Now what are the informations given so that I can calculate these one? The winning candidate in constituency D polled 5% valid vote more than the first runner-up. First runner-up is 37,500. So these would be 37,500 plus 5% of D. This is the information. All the candidates who lost their security deposits while contesting for this constituency put together polled 35% of the valid vote. But how many lost? There are total 8 candidates. We can take a lot of different cases wherever it may be that other than the top one winner, rest others, all 7 candidates lost. It may be the 6 candidates. So all possibilities are there. How I'll be able to calculate? So here, some kinds of idea or concepts that we need to consider. Some cases that we need to calculate. For that, I am taking the lower part of the board, whiteboard, so that we can make the calculation better and understand it better. Let me understand the cases here. So let us consider that case 1, where 7 candidates lost security deposit. That means only top one, 37,500 plus 5% of D is crossing the security deposit or whatever. If I have considered that, then what I can write it down as per our expression? I can write this one, the 37,500 plus 5% of D. It is nothing but a rest, other than 35% rest part of it, the people, those who have not lost the security deposit, only the top candidate. And top candidate in this case need to get other than 35%. That means 65% of D. So it should be 65% of D. Calculating that, I can say 60% of D is equal to 37,500. Means 3 by 5 of D is 37,500. That will give me D is equal to from here 1,25,000 multiplied by 5. So it should be 5,25,000. This would be D in this case. And if 5,25,000 is there, then one thing is not satisfying. It is 10% as the fourth runner-up, because 10% of fourth runner-up, in this case, it should be nothing but 52,500, which would be more than 30,000. So it is not satisfying. So this particular case is not satisfying. Let us go to our second case, case 2, where let's say 6 lost security deposit. That means first 2 got the have saved these security deposit and rest are lost. So same equations I need to consider, and I need to consider first 2 added up will be 65%. So taking that same expression, 37,500 plus 37,500, that means 75,000 plus 5% of D is equal to 65% of D. Calculation, D will be equal to 1,25,000. 1,25,000. Now, in this case, what we have assumed, this second case, we have assumed the lost candidates will be these onwards. That means 30,000 is also lost. But what is 30,000 out of that 1,25,000? Is it more than 1/6? Definitely it is more than 1/6. So as it is more than 1/6, it cannot lose the security deposit. What does it mean? My assumption 6 lost. 6 lost means that 30,000 onwards lost, but 30,000 is more than 1/6 of the D. So definitely this case is also not satisfying. It is out. Let me assume the next case, case 3, which is only possible another case, because beyond it I will not be able to take. That means beyond 5 lost, that means 4 lost only, that I cannot say. Why? Because I know that this is the top fourth person. And the 4th% is already lost. It is 10%. 10% is less than 16.6%, 1/6 of D. So sure, this person lost the security deposit. And I have assumed beyond it, that means 30,000, this person cannot lose the security deposit as per that logic. So my assumption is 10% onward, the people, those who have lost security deposit. That means from here onwards, security deposit lost. And to satisfy this one, it is actually how many? 5 lost. And taking that, it should be top 3 addition. That means 1,05,000 will plus 5% of D will be equal to 65% of D. Calculation, D is coming as 3/5 D is 1,05,000. So it is coming as 1,75,000. So this is the only possible answer as per the given data concern. So here 1,75,000, it would be the value of D, 1,75,000. Now this question we have solved from the given data only, but from the options also we can proceed to do this one faster. Let me get this approach also. Now we have taken the data which is given in question number 4, and as for this question I can find it out what can be the total vote. 62,500 it cannot be, because already this votes is more than that. Now there is a possibility 125, 150 and 175. Now one by one I will go on checking. If I am, let's say, taken this 1,25,000, so what is 1,25,000? It would be the total vote. And as per our known portion, these are the total known portion. That means 1,05,000 is here, plus 5% of D. That much is this value. And 1,25,000 is basically the total data D. So if I take the total data of D and get like that, I can calculate 10% is not possible for that. And as well as here assumption that how many of them lost the security deposit, that concepts we need to apply. Same contradiction as per our RDR case wise movement, we can see that 1,25,000 it will contradict. It will say that 30,000 is basically lost the security deposit. and the condition of that it would not be satisfied. So in this way 1,25,000 it would not be. Checking that all data, 1,75,000 is satisfying. So our answer 1,75,000. However, other than that, with the logic we have, whatever we have considered as what different cases, that's also satisfy that 1,75,000 it would be the only possibility. It cannot be further, because we have taken cases wherever first case the first person only saved, second case first 2% saved, third case first 3% saved. Can it possible that first 4% saved? No, because 4% is already 10%. It is less than 1/6 it not saved, that I know. So only possible cases are first person saved, second person saved, first 2% saved, or first 3% saved. Out of that first 3% only satisfied. So our total vote polled will be 1,75,000. That should be the result of this question. Now we are getting the question number 5. The winning margin of a constituency is defined as the difference of votes polled by the winner and that of the first runner-up. Which of the following cannot be the list of constituencies in increasing order of winning margin? Let me take the winning margin. For A, winning margin is the difference 2,75,000 and 95,000. That means it is coming 1,80,000. Difference is 1,80,000. It is the maximum difference. For B, no, not known. It is a lot of data possible. For C, it is 10,000. For D, we have calculated 5% of D, that is coming as 8,750. So whenever it has said that which of the following cannot be the list of constituency in increasing order of winning margin. So D after that C would be. D after that C it is okay. D after that C it is okay. C after that D it is not okay. D after that C it is okay. And in between B it can appear, because B I don't know. So in case of 3, option 3, this is reverse. C and then D. That means D increasing order not possible. So our answer for this question will be option 3 in this case. For all the 4 candidates taken together, what was the approximate number of votes polled by all the candidates who lost their security deposit expressed as a percentage of total valid votes from these 4 constituencies? Here, constituency 1, we have seen that these total is 255,000. So basically first constituency it is 45,000. The people, those who have lost. Second constituency, only the first one not lost the security deposit, rest others. So 325 minus 48, if I do it, it is coming as 325 minus 48, 48.75. So 276.25. Okay. This next one, C, all of them not lost, anyone not lost. Third one, lost part will be beyond that 30,000. So what is this segment? This segment is 1,05,000 plus 5% of D, that means 8,000, 17,500 by 2, that means 8,750. 750. This much, 1 lakh. So this is, these I need to subtract from this entire part, which is 113,750. So from 1,75,000, 1,13,750 I need to subtract. So it's 61,250. So basically 61,250 Okay, these one I need to add up. Approximately it is coming as 382.5. So percentage 382.5 by 16 lakh 30. That is the sum of the entire part. This 16 lakh 30. So I can write it down. It is 1600. These division in percentage I need to find. This into 100. That is approximately coming as 23.9. That means 23.91. Option 1 would be the answer of this case.
Look at this set. Lots of information given. But once you jot down all the information, which is possible with the given amount of data, problems are quite easy. The main job is to fill up this table with missing data. And what kind of data it is furnishing? It's furnishing data about apparel, electronics, and home decor sale for 2 years in 4 different cities. So now no longer we need this top paragraph. So you can see sales amount, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Kolkata, apparel, everything is given. So you can see majority data for apparel is not available. Electronics, all data available. Home decor, exactly data for 2019 available, 18 not available. And to fill up this missing data, they are given good number of hints. So let us use that. So what we have, the sales amount of the apparel, were the same for Delhi and Kolkata in 2018. Okay, Delhi and Kolkata same. So if it is X, this is also X. First data utilized. The sales amount of the apparel department were the same for Mumbai and Bangalore in 18, which is also the sales amount match the sales amount of the apparel department of Delhi. That means if I take it as Y, this will also be Y, and this is also going to be Y. Sales amount of home decor was the same for Mumbai and Kolkata. Now information about home decor. Mumbai, Kolkata sales amount same in 18. So if this is Z, this is also Z. Don't worry, I'm already used 3 variables. We'll get rid of them. Don't worry. Sum of the sales amount for 4 electric department increased by the same amount as the sales amount for 4 apparel departments. So electric department, what is increment? Here 20 increment, 20 increment again, 40 increment, 20 decrement. So effectively 20 increment, 20 minus 20, 40 minus 20 is 20 only. And 20 increment. So electronics total increment is 40. That means apparel total increment is also 40. Apparel total increment is also 40. Total sales amount of 4 decor departments increased by 70 crore, 18 to 19. Home decor increased by 70. Now if you see, this is 100, this is 72 plus 80, that is 252 plus 54, that is 306. 306 is home decor, 19 value is 306. So home decor 18 value must be 236. Sales amount of home decor department Delhi and Bangalore each increased by 20 crore. Very useful data. 18 to 19 increased 20 crore and this value is 100. So this value must be 80. Same logic, this value must be 60. And total for 18 is 236. This is 80, this is 60. That means 140 we have got. So unknown data is 96, which is 2Z. 2Z is 96. So Z is 48. So one variable I use, I have already solved it. 48 each. 48, 48. The sales amount of apparel department, Delhi and Bangalore, each increased by same amount in 19 to from 18. So Delhi and Bangalore sales amount of apparel increment is same. Delhi increment is how much? This is why this is x. So increment must be y minus x. Same increment in Bangalore. So if in starting value is y and increment is y minus x, so final value must be 2y minus x. And Mumbai, Kolkata is also same. Kolkata starting value x, final value 54. So increment is 54 minus x. So this value will be y plus 54 minus x. Now we still have used this, did not use this data that electronics apparel total increment is 40. So now if we use it, 2018 x plus y plus again y plus x. So it is 2y plus 2x plus 40 is next year data, which is y plus 54 minus x, that is 2y plus 54 minus x plus 2y minus x, that is 4y plus 54 minus 2x plus 54. So 4y minus 2x plus 108. Simplify. 4x is equal to 2y plus 68. 2x is equal to y plus 34. Important equation. Second important equation, which is coming from this information. This information. Sales amount Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore in arithmetic progression. Kolkata is how much? Arithmetic progression means twice the mid value is equal to sum of the terminal value. Mid value 54. So twice the mid value is 108. Is equal to Delhi y plus Bangalore 2y plus x minus x, that is 3y minus x. So 216 is equal to 6y minus 2x, and 2x minus y is equal to 34. So if you add them, 2x will cancel. 250 is equal to 5y. That means y equal to 50. Y equal to 50. So as y is 50, place it here. 2x is 84. Y 50. One very important data. So y 50. What about x? 84. 2x is 84. So x is 42. Another important data. Placing them. X 42, y 50. 42, 50. 50, 50, 42. Two y is 100 minus 34, 66. And 108 minus, no, y is 50, 104 minus 42, that is 62. 62. now as we have all the informations jotted down in the table, even some part of the bullet points not visible, no issue. First question you can see. The home decor department of which city where the sales amount was highest? 18 and 19 respectively. Home decor, 18 highest in Delhi, 19 also highest in Delhi. So it is Delhi and Delhi, option 4. Option 4. Next. The solution I'm not erasing for your reference, although their outputs are already jotted down. What was the increase in sales amount in crore rupees in the apparel department of Mumbai 18 to 19? So you can see 18 to 19. 18 Mumbai was 50, 19 Mumbai is 62. So increment is 12, option 4. Next question. Among all the 12 departments, what was the maximum percentage increase in sales? Huge percentage increment I can see here, which is 32%, and then 33%. Okay, this one is 50%. This one is highest increment. 48 becoming 72. Percentage wise, this is highest. Last. Total sales in 19. Total sale in 19. $98, 198. So it is 248 plus 132, 134, 236 plus 216 plus 208. 424, 236, 660, plus 248, very close to 900. Option 2.
This is one set wherever lots of information given regarding some of the parameters like student's name, department, time slot, and faculty. Let us get into the entire information and try to form it out the suitable diagram which will help us for solving the problems. It has mentioned that the humanity department of a college is planning to organize 8 seminars, one for each of 8 doctoral students, A to H doctoral students. 4 of them are information now important. 4 of them are from economics, 3 of them from sociology, 1 from anthropology. These are the 3 different informations. Let me go on writing these for future use. 4 of them from economics. That means economics department 4. 3 from sociology. Sociology 3. One from anthropology. Anthropology 1. It is actually the information of department and number of student. These are the two things it has been taken in this information. Next. Each student is guided by one among P, Q, RS and T. These are the faculty, they are guiding 5 of them. 2 students are guided by each of P, R, T, while 1 student is guided each of by Q and S. Again, another set of information. As for faculty concerned, so it is nothing but P, R, T. Both 2 student, 2 student and 2 student. While Q and S, 1 student each. This is actually the information of faculty and number of student. Okay. Each seminar is to be scheduled in one of 4 consecutive 30-minute slots starting from 9, 9:30, 10 and 10:30. These are the 4 slots on same day. More than one seminars can be scheduled in a slot provided the guide is free. Only 3 rooms are available and hence at the most 3 seminars can be scheduled in a slot. Students who are guided by the same guide must be scheduled in consecutive slots. Same guide in consecutive slots. Now these are the information out of that 2 initial passage. The informations we have written here. Along with there are 4 slots information and 3 rooms maximum. That means in a particular slot maximum 3 slots, 3 seminars can be organized. And same guide is conducting these slots in consecutive slots. These are the information. Now we will take these entire information so that up and we can draw some table. Now we have taken these entire informations which has already gone through. Now some additional information is also there. Let us go with these additional information, and for that we need to form it out a table wherever slot wise information is required, and along with that the students wise also it has been considered. Let us try to go on filling it as per the given information. Here it has mentioned that seminars by students, first point, seminars by students from economics are scheduled in each of the 4 slots. So what we have done in the slot part, let us try to feed these entire slot wise. We want to fit it out the student, department and faculty by this format. And in the first case it has mentioned that in all of these slots economics are scheduled. What does it means? The middle part economics, it can be written in each of the cases. So student, department economics, faculty. Student, department economics, faculty. In this way, in each slot I am initially writing the information, first information taken. Now let us go to the second information. A is the only seminar that is scheduled at 10 and A is guided by R. 10 a.m. only one schedule, one of the seminar it is definitely mentioned, and that is A seminar. So definitely A need to be here, and that is guided by R. R will be here. And with this information I can see that A is coming as economic department, faculty is R. Slot also I know it is 10. So that is the first part, first information which I can fit. Now the next information. So point number 1, point number 2, now point number 3. If is an anthropology student whose seminar is scheduled at 10:30. If anthropology and scheduled at 10:30. It is economics already done. So definitely here one anthropology student also will come. So department anthropology, and student is F, faculty not known. Seminar of the sociology student, if he is an anthropology student whose seminar is scheduled at 10:30. So as far F concerned, it is anthropology student and it is 10:30. Okay. Now next information. Point number 4. Point number 3 is done. Point number 4. The seminar of a sociology student is scheduled at 9 a.m. The seminar of a sociology student is scheduled at 9 a.m. So 9 a.m. sociology student scheduled at 9 a.m. Seminar of a sociology student is scheduled at 9 a.m. So this point is also considered. Point number 4. Point number 5. B and G are both sociology student. B and G both sociology student. B sociology, G sociology. Both sociology students whose seminars are scheduled in the same slot. The seminar of an economic student who is guided by T is also scheduled in the same slot. Now the information of BG. Sociology student, here one sociology we can see, but BG another, so we cannot find it out that here where BG I need to fit. BG are sociology students, seminars are scheduled in the same slot. Economic students guided by T is also in the same slot. So this particular one yet is not confirmed. I cannot fit now. Move to the next. Point number 6. P, who is guiding both B and C. B and C. P is guiding both B and C. P here, P here. So B sociology, so C need to be sociology. Same department. So guiding, P is guiding both B and C, has students scheduled in the first 2 slots. That means BC need to be in the first 2 slots in any order it may be. So either B or C, C or B, that would be fitted. And it is both guided by P, that I can find as per the point number 6, not fully filled, but partially. Point 7, A and G are scheduled in 2 consecutive slots. A here, so G may be here or there. This way, the entire information we have fitted time now. Now, let us try to get one idea. That idea is, I can find A3, 3 number of students, B, C and G, it has done. A1, that is if done. So rest others all will be economics. So I can find it out, economic set. This is economics, need to be economics, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Watch, 8 students we need to take. Extra we have drawn. Okay. Now economics 3, 4. So we have determined the students, those who will be economics and will be fitted in these 4 slots. Definitely R is here, R may be either this side or that side, yet not confirmed. B, C, both are sociology and they need to be in consecutive 2 slots. G, B, G are both sociology. So G either here or here. But AG are scheduled to consecutive slots. So G either here 9 a.m. or 9:30. G cannot be anything else. So taking this both of it, that means point number 5 and point number 7, we can find it out. BG, as it is in the same slot, either 9 or 9:30. But G, if it is at 9, it is not in consecutive with A. So definitely G need to be here. So A and G both are in consecutive. That means G I need to fit in this location. But G would be in economics or not, that is not known. G is sociology. It is known. So G I need to fit it with sociology. That means there would be a sociology and it would be G. B is also sociology because B and first 2 slots would be B and C. That is point number 6. So B, another, it would be here sociology, and it has been done by P. P is the guiding both. So P need to be here, C need to be here, P need to be here. So BC faculty P, it has been confirmed, sociology. G is here, sociology, which is consecutive A and D. That means point number 7 to consecutive slots taken. P guiding both. BC has students scheduled in the first 2 slots, that is also considered. BG are both sociology students whose seminars are scheduled in the same slot, BG same slots. The seminar of an economics student who is guided by T is also scheduled in the same slot. T need to be this location, T guiding this economic student. T is that, so economics to consecutive R who is teaching, R1 is here, R another would be in this location. T is here, so T need to be in this location. As T is 2 in number, done. R 2 in number, done. P 2 in number, done. So sociology and one of Q and S will be sociology, another will be anthropology. And that sociology and anthropology, that would go, one is F, another is G. Yes. So we can get some extra added information that Q and S, they are the faculty and department will be sociology and anthropology in any order. Department and students would be F and G in any order. That is FG, and this faculty, these segments, it would be filled. Then this part would be filled. Economics 4 will be R and T. Their time slots is also done, economics 4, but the students not filled. These students would be other economic student, D, E and H, it would be filled like that. So this much from the given informations we can get into, like and this part also over BCP, this part, because it has been considered, so I can remove that segment also. Now with these all informations, we will go for our questions and we will take our entire outcome. It would be in the upper part of the screen. Now let us proceed with the first question. Which one of the following statements is true? We want to find it out the statements which are true. First one, only one seminar is scheduled in the second slot. Second slot, 2 seminars, so it is wrong. 3 seminars are scheduled in the first slot. First slot, 2 seminars, it is also wrong. 2 seminars are scheduled in the first slot. This is also wrong. 3 seminars scheduled in the 2 seminars are scheduled in the first. Oh, no. 2 seminars scheduled in the first slot. It is right. So our answer would be option 3. Please understand this particular question is such that wherever only slot finding is required. So initially slot finding whenever done, not all of these data which can be filled is completed. Still we will be able to answer this question. Second question, who all are not guiding any economic student? Who are not guiding any economic student? Economic student guided by R and T. R and T. So PQS, not guiding economic student. And on the basis PQS, that is option 4 would be our answer. Now question 3, which of the following statements is necessarily true? Necessarily true, that I need to find it out. That means some of the data are not filled, considering that. First one, Q is guiding G. Q is guiding G or F. It is not confirmed. So necessarily it cannot be true. So I'm removing that. B is scheduled in the first slot. B is in the second slot. So it is necessarily false. S is guiding F. S guiding F. Again, this is not in full information. So it is wrong. So our answer would be definitely option 4. Let's check. H is an economic student. H is an economic student, so you have already seen. So it is necessarily true. Answer would be option 4 this case. Now let us get for the fourth question. If D is scheduled in a slot later than Q, DQ, we can see that as D, E and H not known, as well as QS not known. QS, everything not known, but DEH, it is actually economics or not, it is not known. But it has said that if D is scheduled in a slot later than Q, Q slot, Q either it is sociology or anthropology, but sociology in the first slot 9 AM it has been already taken. So Q may be only these location, or Q may be this location. So it has mentioned that D slot is scheduled later than Q. That means Q need to be in this location. So you can go on writing in this case that Q need to be that as per the information. D schedule is scheduled later than Q. That means D need to be in 10 AM, so it is not possible. 10:30 need to be D. So D need to be placed here. So these information is giving that type of formation. Then which of the following statements, 2 statements are true? Out of 1 and 2 we need to check. First statement, E and H are guided by T. E and H both are economics and they are guided by T. It is so absolutely true. Guided by T. E and H. It is so true. Second statement, G is guided by Q. G is guided by Q. Yes, G is guided by Q. That's also we have received. So both of it. That means both of 1 and 2 would be my answer. Option 2 would be the answer in the question number 4 in this case. Now let's go for question number 5. If E and Q are both scheduled in same slot, E and Q same slot, our E and Q both are not mentioned. So E and Q same slot. E is the student and Q is the faculty. That is possible here, 9:30. Yes. E and Q also at 10:30 it is possible. E and Q are both scheduled in the same slot, then which of the following statements best describes the relationship between D, H and T? We can see that there are two possibilities of EQ. Let me go on writing that. EQ, one possibility, and another possibility, some other color. It may be EQ. So both of the thing, it is possible. If EQ in the case 1, then DH, it would be D and H would be 9 and 10:30. But if it is at 10:30, then DH will be here. T to fixed, but DH, it can be at 9, 10:30 or 9, 9:30. These are the two locations of D and H. 9, 9 and 9:30 or 9, 10:30. These are the two possibility I can find it out from the given information. Then question is, then which of the following statements best describe about the relationship between DHT? First one, neither D nor H is guided by T. It is wrong. Definitely D and H, anyone it would be and guided by T. It must be. But neither it is wrong. At least one though it must be. So this is wrong statement. Both D and H is guided by T. That is also not possible because second case, whenever E and Q are like that, it is both. So it is not definitely true. Exactly one of D and H is guided by T. It is also not true because maybe both of them are guided by T. And fourth one, at least one of D and H is guided by T. It would be the right one because it may be 1, it may be 2. So this way, this is the best answer for the question number 5. Now, sixth question. If D is scheduled in the slot immediately before Q, D is scheduled immediately before Q. Q can be either in 9:30 or 10:30. But if it is 10:30, D cannot be. So this information suggests that D is scheduled slot immediately before Q. That means D is here and Q is here. This is the given information. Then which of the following is not necessarily true? Not necessarily true. F is guided by S. F is guided by S. This is necessarily true because S is there pending and S would go at that location at that time. Others, this I cannot fit. So F is guided by S, it is necessarily true. So I am not getting this is the answer. E is guided by R. E, it can be here, it can be here. So not necessarily true, it is not said. E is guided by R, not. D is guided by T. D is guided by T is absolute right answer. So, but said it is not necessarily true. So it is also wrong. G is guided by Q. G is guided by Q. G is guided by Q. That also I can find it out in this case. This question demands that not necessarily true. Actually, I need to remove that one wherever chances of other case it would be. But if he is guided by S, it is a confirmed case. I can see here, if he is guided by S, it is a confirmed case. So due to that reason, I am removing that first one. E is guided by R, E may be here, maybe here. So it may be true, may not be true. So that's why our answer for this case, it should go for second one. I need to put this is the right. If I check the others, like third one, D is guided by T, we can see it is a confirmation that D is guided by T. So it is necessarily true. G is guided by Q, G is guided by Q, it is also necessarily true. These are the things we have seen. So this is also wrong. So my answer for this question should be option 2. Wherever E may be guided by R, E may be guided by T. Due to that reason, it is not necessarily true in this.
Look at this one is a very interesting and quite difficult set of logical reasoning associated with the parking lot. So let us understand the data given, all the informations you need to keep in your mind for a better solving. A shopping mall has a large bus parking lot with parking lots painted along a single row. These slots are quite narrow. A compact car can fit in a single slot, but SUV requires 2 slots. When a car arrives, the parking attendants guide the car to the first available slot from the beginning of the row into which the car can fit. For our purpose, cars are numbered according to the order in which they arrive in the lot. For example, the first car to arrive is given number 1, second and number 2, and so on. This number does not indicate whether a car is compact or an SUV. The configuration of a car. So one thing first we jot down that compact car means 1 slot, SUV means 2 slots. The configuration of parking lot is a sequence of car numbered in each slot. Each single vacant slot is represented by letter V. For instance, suppose car number 1 through 5 arrive and park, where 1, 3, 5 are compact cars. These are instance they are giving, they are not the actual situation. And 2 and 4 are SUV. So initial situation is like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where 1 is a compact, 3 is a compact, and 5 is a compact. And 2 is an SUV, 4 is an SUV. The parking lot would be now if car 2 and car 5 now vacant their position. So now the situation will be like 1 VV. Why? Because SUV left. 3, 4, and then 5 is not there. So technically there is also a vacant place. Now if a compact car comes, it will take this position. If SUV comes, it will take the entire position. That is a basic understanding of the set. So let us look at the first problem. Initially, card number 1, 2, 3, 4 arrive, among which 1 and 4 are SUV. Okay. So initial arrival is 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of which 1 and 4 SUV, 2 and 3 compacts. Car 1 leaves. So now the position is VV 2, 3, 4. Followed by arrival of car 5, which is the compact car. So it will take one's position. 5V 2, 3, 4. And car 6 SUV. Car 6 cannot fit into this position. So after car 6 comes, car 6 will fit it in the end. Now car 4 lives. So now the position is 5V 2, 3, again VV6. Remember, car 4 is an SUV. So whenever it leaves, there will be 2 positions available. Car 7 comes and car 8 comes. Now when car 7 comes, it cannot fit in here. So it will take this to V position. So now the position will be 5V 2, 3, 7, 6. And now card 8, compact car comes. So final position will be 5, 8, 2, 3, 7, 6. Final arrangement. 5, 8, 2, 3, 7, 6. Which among the following numbered card is parked next to card 3? Next to card 3, I can see card 2, I can see card 7, and what are the values I can see in the option? I can see 6, that is not, I can see 5, that is not, 2 is not there, so obviously 3 is the answer. This one is the answer. Right? Next problem. What is given? 8 cars have arrived, out of which 2 have left. Which 2 we don't know. Also suppose that car 4 is a compact car and car 7 is an SUV. Which of the following is possible current configuration? Now one of the possibility might be all cars came next to each other, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8. Obviously this is wrong because except option 2, I can see everywhere 8 is the first position. So initially 8 was not there. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 came. Now 4 is a compact car. So if 4 leaves its position, and 7 is an SUV, 7 cannot take its position. So option 2 is impossible. Option 2 suggests us what? 1 left, vacant position, 4 left, vacant position, and in the place of 4, 7 placed. Not possible. 4 is a compact, 7 is an SUV. So 2 is not the answer. And now rest 3 options suggest 8 in the first position. That means 8 came after car 1 left. So 8, 2, 3, and 8 took exactly 1's position. V. And 8, 2, 3, V, I can obviously fix this arrangement because it is common in all 4 options. So it might happen, initially it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe 6, then 1 left, and 1 couldn't take 7, 7 couldn't take 1's position. If 1 is a SUV, 7 is also an SUV, 7 could have taken its position. If 1 is an compact, 7 is an compact, 7 could have taken its position. But 7 could not take 1's position means 1 was a compact and 7 was an SUV. So after 1 left, this is the position. Then 7 came, 7 joined here. Then 8 came. And then 4 left. So basically, 1 left, then 4 left. Then 8 came, then 4 left. And 4 leaving should not bother 5, 7, 6 position. So obvious option is option 3. Okay, next one. Suppose the sequence at some point is 4, 5, 6, V3. Interesting question. 4, 5, 6, V3. Means what? 1 is the first car to come, 2 is the same car to come, 3 is the third car to come. That means when 1 and 2 left, 4 positions came. That means actually 1 and 2 both were Both were SUVs. So 1 and 2 left. The position is like this. B, 3. Then 4 came, take this position. 5 came, took this position. 6 came, took this position. So final position 4, 5, 6, B3. That means we can easily conclude 1 and 2 were SUVs and 4, 5, 6 each of them were compact cars. So not true. 3 isn't. So 1 SUV true. 4 SUV compact true. 5 compact true. Not necessarily true. 3 SUV. 3 can be a compact. It will not affect this position. Next problem. Suppose car 4 is not the first car to leave. Remember, very important information. Car 4 is not the first car to leave. And the sequence at a time between the arrival of 7 and 8. So 7 come and 8 is about to come. Between that position is V7365. Which of the following must be false? V7365. Some point again, the situation was 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 left. Positions came. Then 4 come. Or maybe then 4 left. Position came. Now when 6 entered, it took position of 6, 4, not the position of 1 or 2. What it means? When 6 entered, now it might have happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the initial positions. Then 1 left. So next position will be V, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or maybe 1 stayed, 2 left. 1 V, 3, 4, 5. And here 6 did not come. Or even if 6 is coming, it is not going to get a position. Then 4 left. So either position is 1V, 3V, 5 or V2, 3V, 5. And there 6 is coming and 6 is taking this position. Neither of these two. That means even if a car is coming and getting a vacant position earlier and not taking it, means it cannot fit in. That means it cannot happen that 1 and 2 both left. If 1 and 2 both are leaving 2 vacant positions, SUV compact, anything will fit in. So that means when 6 came, either 1 left or 2 left, also 4 left, and 1 and 2, whichever left, that first must be a compact. That's why 6 is not getting a position here, and 6 must be an SUV. So that's why it is taking the position of 4. 4 is also an SUV. So what is false? 6 is a compact false. Because if 6 would have been a compact, 6 would have been fit in here. Now you might say, sir, neither 1, 2 left, 4 left and 6 fit in here. And all of them are compact. Not possible because 4 is not the first part to leave. Before 4 left, there was some vacant position. 6 did not take it. Why? 6 couldn't fit into it. That only means 6 is a SUV. So what is false? 6 is a compact, that is false.